Well, it hobbled along, didn't it? We had 3 years, 4 years in Scotland and 3 years in this country. So it was just after Thatcher, I think, probably when Thatcher went, wasn't it? I remember that, 91.
Yeah.
91.
She refused. Her own minister was saying it's uncollectible. And I think what they were worried about was bringing the whole thing into question. The whole thing about how much power they actually had when it came to it, you know, the government of the day. When the people decided that they weren't standing for it. And then the one bloke there, and he said he was going for not judicial review, he was going for the imprisonment. And they went up and he said, oh, I'm not going to pay it, I don't believe in it. He says, well, you know, you could go to prison, you know, for this. He says, oh, I didn't know that. He says, how much is it? So I said, that's a simple Leicester thing, how much is it? He said, how much is it? He said, 400 quid, whatever it was. So he got out some Monopoly money, started counting out his Monopoly money. She says, do you realise you can go to prison? He says, it's all right, I've got to get out of jail free card. You know, so we're completely making a mockery. This was happening all over the country. You know, they were saying that they're making us look a bunch of twats, you know, the courts and all this.
Basically reducing the fear amongst ordinary people of the law and the systems. Yeah. And it was eating into that psyche, wasn't it, of fear of authority. Yeah. So I think that's another aspect of how we won it, really, to be honest. But as I say, when you say did it fizzle out? Yeah, I think it just did. I mean, I think we were doing there was lots of other stuff going on at the same time. So the court cases became less and less and less because they stopped dishing out so many orders in the second and third year. Yeah. So I think they knew it were going to be replaced. I think the decision to replace it had been made, but it was still there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a three year long.
It's three years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know, but that's what got rid of Thatcher. Nothing else did. I mean, she was unassailable before that. Yeah. But
so you know, the Iron Lady, you know, she's seen. It's not something I rate her for at all, but I'm sure you two don't. But you know, like she's, you know, the Iron Lady who defeated the miners and fought the Argentinians and smashed the unions and all this stuff, but in the end she was finally brought down by working class people who said, piss off, we're not having a poll tax.
By the people, yeah. And that's a lesson everybody needs to learn.
So what in terms of like, just like to wrap it up, what, you know, there's some criticisms about the left. It's seen from some quarters. I know we're doing well in the sense with Corbyn, and a lot of young people are engaging towards it. But what about working class people? I mean, you know, there's still a lot of cynicism, unless I'm wrong, and that's changing. And with this thing about political correctness, and like some people have got anxieties about Islam and immigration, and they feel like they're just shut down and not listened to.
Yeah.
It's patronising. They just see it all as a bit of a joke. It's a middle class movement. They see it as extreme communism or out of touch, like Antifa just smashing stuff up. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? And in terms of like a positive, do you see anything positive for the left in terms of how it's going to develop? You know, what's your thoughts and stuff like?
Well, me personally, I mean, I've seen a move. I've seen massive waves of anti-Corbynism amongst working class people that I associate with, to start off with. I've seen that begin to break down, but we've also seen massive expansions of people coming back into the Labour Party who had left. You know, in Market Harbour, you know, we had a Labour Party in 2015 of 60 members. We now got just 500, just under 500. That's happened in a year and a half now. Our vote's gone from, you know, being third behind the Liberals and Tories on 8,000 votes to 18,000 votes within 11,000 of the Tories, which has not been heard. I mean, the last time we had a Labour MP was in 1945. You know, they used to say we don't count the Tory votes, we weigh them. So that's a change that's happened there. But what I did notice was that in about once they announced the manifesto, there was a massive seed change. Because people said, well, I don't bother, Corbyn, I don't like Corbyn, but I ain't bothered, I like the policies. And there was a change there, and I actually had people asking me for Labour Party posters. And I've never had that in ever since I joined the Labour Party, which was 1981. I've never had people come, because everybody knows my politics. They all know how to wind me up in the pub with the racism and the sexism and the whatever. But I understand, you know, I've been accused of the same things myself. But you know, sometimes you have to understand that people around you are not all like you, and you're not going to make them all like you as you are inside your head. And people have to realise that. But I think we're winning, and I think we will win. And the tendency, the working class tendencies, will be the ones that will win because they're the only ones that survive. Because they've got the 3 years of the poll tax proves it. You know, they've got the stamina for a fight.
We need to change that. We need to be inclusive and get proper working class activists back involved in the Labour Party, and I think that will happen, and it is happening. So that gives me a very positive view. But it's the best thing we've got to fight forward. So I'd say to anybody, you know, you might have problems with the Labour Party, you might have problems with what done in the past, but this is the time now to get engaged and get involved and join your local Labour Party and your trade union.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you're not working, you can join Unite Community. They do it about 50 pence a week. You get a full union membership. You can join a campaigning group there. So that's what I say to that. We can do it again. What we did with the poll tax, we can do again. If we've got the means to do it, we've got the people who can do it. We just need to be allowed to do it. We need to do that. And we need to get people at the moment who are completely cut off. And I can understand that because you're so desperate. All your thoughts about how do I get enough money to get the next meal. You know, that's how bad it's got in this country. And we need to get rid of these Tory scum, and they are scum. You know, they are vile. They've got a complete meanness of spirit in everything they do. Everything they do is to harm people, not to help them. The only people they help is themselves and their rich mates. And we have to get rid of these. And we can do that as well.
It's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, ended positively, but as much as it has negative implications, obviously, about the toll that it's taken on us.
Yeah.
Is obviously it's deadly.
Yeah.
So that's very negative. But there is a positive spin on what we can achieve, and it looks like we may well be moving towards a breaking point where we do repeat the kind of movements we've had in the past, like the poll tax. Yeah. So I really appreciate your time and for that information and recollections. Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.